Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. I'm so glad you could join me today. Today I have for you the promised paper stand that you can make for cards that don't stand on their own. And I made a pocket card last week, and I've made several of them over the last month or so. And a lot of you, I know, don't like it when a card doesn't stand on its own. So I've done a little bit of research and I've come up with a way to make a stand that can hold your pocket card very easily, and it's very simple to make. So there's two ways to do it, and I'm just going to show you the easiest way to do it. And we're going to start with regular cardstock and work our way through the whole process. So let's just get started. Okay, here is the card that we last made that was this pretty vellum pocket card. And in this case, it was a birthday card. And we asked for a vote how many of you liked it with the DSP on the back, and most of you liked it with the DSP on the back. And I do love something that's a bit unexpected, so I thought that was great fun. And I have come up with this. Actually, it's not my idea at all. There's several different versions of this out there, and I wouldn't even begin to know who to give this attribution to. There's so many people that have made them. The one that I saw, and actually I changed it quite a bit from the one I saw, was May. It's just a simple little process here, and I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to start by cutting the card. So I've used a couple of different things. I've got a piece of thick Whisper White. The sturdier the card stock, the better. So you want one that is either the thick white or a very saturated color. So here we have this, and I'm setting this up, and this trimmer is set up so that when you push it all the way in against this ledge, it is at the 6-inch mark. And magically, that's what we need. So we're going to just cut this 8.5 by 11-inch paper at 6 inches. And then we are going to cut pieces. So you can get 3 of these stands out of one piece of paper. So I'm going to cut this paper in 3.5-inch lengths. Before I do that, I'm going to score it so I don't have to score each individual one. So we're going to score this sheet this way at the 3-inch mark. We're going to give it a nice healthy score, and then we're going to turn it this way and cut it in 3.5-inch strips. So there's 1, 2, and 3. There we go. All right. So there we've got our 3 opportunities to make one of these little card stands. And what I think I'm going to do with this is I'm going to make up several of them and keep them on hand. And this is one of those things that once I've got my template made, then I can make bunches of them in all different kinds of card colors. This is a piece of papaya, and what I'm going to do is cut a 3.5-inch length of the papaya and 1 in Evening Evergreen. And the Evening Evergreen is a dark color, so it's nice and saturated, so it'll feel a little bit thicker. So again, at 3.5. Now then, I need both of these pieces to be 6 inches long, and I'm going to set it up on the 6-inch mark. on my trimmer and cut that down, setting all of these other pieces aside. Then I'm going to slide these two pieces in at the 3-inch mark here and give those a score line. So there we go. So now we have several pieces of paper that are ready to be our little stand. And let me show you how the stand works. When you open it up, it sits like this, and then your card sits right inside that, and the card stands. And so that is what it looks like when it's standing. I think you can see that there. And these two little feet come out and hold it, and then it leans back just far enough that it rests comfortably against this little bump in the back, and it can be put any place and left on display. And that's all there is to it. It folds up nicely and can be just added to the back of your card. And when you go to put that in an envelope to send it, it can just slide in the back of the card behind your card. And when somebody takes out your card, they're going to pull the card out, and they're going to see that there's an additional piece in there, and it'll be perfectly obvious that that is meant to hold this card upright. So that is how it's going to work. And so we're going to just get on with how we're going to do this. And the first thing I'm going to do is use my thick piece of Whisper White to make a template. And I've tried this a couple of times, and I'm perfectly happy with the way it comes out. So we're going to take a pencil and a ruler, and we're going to make some marks on our card. The very first thing we're going to do is to fold this, make sure that it is set up so that it folds nice and evenly, and we are going to burnish this score line. And while I'm at it, I'm going to burnish these two. And when you don't have something to bump up against it, just getting one corner set up so that you're perfectly happy and holding that down. Then when you lay it down, you just have the other end to square up a tiny bit here, or it'll square up immediately. And then give that a good healthy burnish. And you should have it burnished and scored just right. And again, I'm going to bend these two together, capture this corner, bring it along, set it down, and burnish from that corner on down. And there we've got our fold perfectly done, and we have 3 little pieces of card ready to go. And I thought this would be a kind of a fun project if you wanted to do them all out of white or vanilla. You could certainly do that, or you could do them out of a colored cardstock that matched your card. And in fact, you could stamp on this or put other kinds of decorations on it and make it even more customized. So what we're going to do is turn this so that the opening for this is facing to my right. And I'm going to start by putting a 1-inch mark on this end, that is the end that opens. And so I'm going to add a 1-inch tick mark right there. And then I'm going to put this on my grid paper like this. And I'm going to go across this paper here at 1/2 inch. So I'm setting my ruler down 2 squares up from the bottom of my grid paper, because each one of those squares is a 1/4 inch. So I'll be right at the 1/2 inch mark. And I'm going to come in at a 1/2 inch here, and I'm going to stop right here at the 1 inch mark. So from a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. And then we've got our 1 inch mark up the side of the card there. Now we're just going to connect these 2 points with the ruler and my pencil and make that connection. All right, there we go. There's our foot already done. Now, we stopped here at the 1 inch mark, and what I've done is I've grabbed some washi tape. Now, I looked at several different pieces of washi tape, old ones and just a drawer full of them, and they all have to seem to have the same basic inner circle. So I grabbed this one, and it's just a tiny bit under 2 inches in diameter. And so if I put it here, it comes right along to the 2 inch mark on this side, and it comes right up to the 2 inch mark on this side. Now your roll could be a little bit smaller than that, and that's fine. The smaller the roll, the more the card will lean back, and I'll show you why. I'm going to set this down on the top of this corner, this folded corner here, so that you can see it there and you can see the gap. If I move it more towards the end, you can see the gap there where I am away from the corner of the card. One gap there and one gap there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that down away from that corner until the gap that I can see is just very, very small. And by that, I mean you can barely see any light through it. And I'm going to draw a circle around my washi tape, leaning into the washi tape around this end and back over, kind of eyeballing where it needs to come to match up with this 1 inch line. Then I'm going to take this here at the bottom of that circle and put my 1 inch line until it intersects with the circle, and I know it is on there just as straight as it can be, and I'm going to put a tick mark at that 1 inch mark. And now I'm going to connect from that tick mark down to this piece here on the bottom. So that is going to be in 1 inch. If I set this on my grid paper, I should be able to set this down so that it is square on my grid paper, and 1 inch is 4 squares up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So at the 1 inch mark, I'm going to come across the paper so that I'm coming out on the 1 inch side on the other side, and that way I know my line will be straight. And I'm going to draw a line from that baseline up to my circle. And there we go. Now I'm going to take out that one little piece, and I'm going to take out this circle that went past that. And there you have the template, or how to cut this piece. Now we're just going to take our snips, and in this case I don't want to see those pencil lines, so I'm going to cut this just on the inside of that pencil line so that I don't see that pencil line. I'm going to come down to that 1/2 inch mark and turn my scissors. I have to come just a tiny bit further. There we go. And then turn my scissors and come straight across here so that I come to this corner. All right. Then I'm going to come from that corner and turn my scissors and come straight up this line, again eliminating the pencil mark. Now you can do this with your trimmer, but there's quite a few more directions to doing it that way, and I decided that this was actually pretty accurate and very fast. So that's what I'm showing you here. And then I'm going to come on just the inside of that circle, and I'm going to cut as close to a perfect circle as I possibly can. There we go. All right. Now, any pencil line that is left there we'll take away, and then I'm going to just look at that circle and feel it and see where circles are very hard to cut. So I'm just going to trim off a little edge here or there, and I think that's pretty good. So there is my template. Now, once I've got my template drawn, then I can use it to make this little holder in any other color. All I need to do is get this template, put on my piece of paper, and I need to draw my piece. And as long as I'm using the same template, by gosh, I can make as many of these as I want. Oops, I didn't get all the way around that circle. So let me put this right back on that same mark and finish that circle. All right, there we go. So now then, I'm going to do that again. Not so easy on a darker piece of paper, but it definitely can be done. And so here I'm going to press just a little bit harder with my pencil and go back and forth just a bit. Let me get a little bit more pencil there. And come around the circle, and I'm going to go over that a couple of times because I'm dealing with a very dark piece of paper, and then up on this end and back across here. And there we go. There you can see we've got the pencil mark there. So on these, all I'm going to do is do the same thing I did on the other, and that is come in at an angle here and cut along the lines that I have made. And seems like I always have to cut just a little bit past the line to get my scissors in there. And then come up to the circle line and come on around my circle. And there's one done. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the second one so we can decide which one goes best with our little pocket card. And there we go. That's all there is to it. And so we've got three choices. We've got the white, and we've got the Evening Evergreen, and we've got the Pale Papaya. And here is our card, and you can see what it looks like on all three of those choices. And there's how my card would be sitting on this little paper stand on the Pale Papaya, and then what it would look like on the Evening Evergreen. And just put that into place there. I kind of like the Evening Evergreen, shows the contrast. and set that down on my card base, and that's what it would look like standing up, and there it sits. Or you could choose the more generic choice here, the white, and this one I did white because the little insert is white, but that insert could very well be very vanilla on this and be just fine. And so there is my white one holding my card. Let me show you what that looks like. Looks like that. And they're very simple and easy to make, and hopefully you would be able to make that. Now, on this one, I think I like the Evening Evergreen one the best. You have to decide, maybe put one of those little flowers here or a couple of leaves down this side. Let's see, I've even got some leaves left over from that project. Oh, those are dark leaves, but there's Pale Papaya on one side. Let's see what else I've still got hanging around here. Here's some other kinds of leaves that we put on that project, and one could add some leaves to the back side of this, or you could put one of those little flowers from the DSP here and have a leaf coming out of it if you wanted to decorate it up. Otherwise, it could go just plain. So that is it. And that is my project for the day. I didn't want to take too long in bringing this back to you for fear I would forget or we wouldn't remember that I was doing this. So there it is. We've got our choices. Now what I'm probably going to do is I might take this one and mark it template and set that aside so that I would know that this one is the one that I'm going to use over and over again to use as my template to make these little stands. But there you go. So if you got that pocket card or any other card that doesn't stand the way you'd like, you can put it on one of these little stands and send it off in the envelope to your customer or your friend or whoever you're sending the card to. And there you go. That is my project for the day. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. When this posts, it will be June 1st. My June prize draw is going to be the Art Gallery bundle, and it is going to include the stamp set and the dies. You get yourself in the drawing by placing an order on my store, lbedinger.stampinup.net, and you can get to it through my blog, www.inkandingenuity.com. Now, if you happen to win and you already have that bundle, then we'll certainly pick something else out. But at this point, it's going to be a bundle of some sort for my prize draw for the month of June. So that's it for me. The join offer is done. We probably won't have another one until July or August for joining, but think about it, and if you're interested in talking about it, my information is always listed below the video. Feel free to give me a call, and I'd be happy to chat with you about it. So that's again it for me, and I'll be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye!